Hey, dear friends, it is March the 5th on Read Through the Word, and it is great to be with you. And we are in the wilderness for an extended stay with the Israelites. Yeah. Here we are. And I can handle, I believe, seasons of wilderness experiences. Let's just be honest. Most of us can handle a season. And if we're really honest, we would really want a short season. But when I read today's reading, two things. I wanted to know what wilderness is. I mean, I can kind of think of what it is, but I wanted to really know what that meant. And secondly, well, let me talk about the first thing. First thing I thought of was, what is a wilderness? So I looked it up. As you know, one of my favorite sites is dictionary.com. You can also go to Miriam is another, but I like dictionary.com. A wild, uncultivated region as a forest or desert, uninhabited, inhabited only by wild animals, a tract of wasteland. So let's just settle for a second on that whole idea. I'm going to grab my highlighter really quick so that I don't forget my second point. Sometimes I get off track. So I want to make sure I get to my second point. Okay, so let's settle there for a minute. These individuals have been, I don't want to say sentenced because that's not what it is, have been, I don't even know the right word for it. Maybe you guys can fill in a word for me as I'm thinking. But they are assigned this allotment, this very, very long season. In fact, they're going to die there. So not only are they there, but they know this is their last stop. An uninhabited tract of land, a wasteland, uninhabited by people, a wasteland inhabited only by wild animals. It's an uncultivated region. You don't even know what all you're going to run into. Seriously, that's what they are assigned. Just camp out there for a second. This is not a season that will go away for them. This is a season that is essentially a life sentence. That's the first thing I thought of. The second thing I thought of is, how would I respond to God if my new residence was a wild, uncultivated wasteland? And that was my last stop here on earth. Which led me to kind of that's A and a B of this. Is some of the people, we're talking 1 million people, maybe didn't sign up for this. This is based on the report of the scouts. And this is not the fault of, there's some people that aren't to blame here, but they're caught up in it. So that's another turn, is sometimes we're in this wilderness assignment, this wilderness residence. Let's call it what it is. It's residence. Because it is just how it is. Which led me to a C of number 2. Right? I don't even, like a 2A, B, and then C. is, do you know someone who is living in a wilderness indefinitely? So the bottom line of this lesson today is, whether you know someone personally or not, there are people who live in the wilderness and know that it's indefinite. Some know that it's never going to end until they get to heaven, and some know that it's indefinite. And I want, at the end of this lesson, for you to make a commitment today, throughout the day, and if the Lord leads longer than the day, I want us to make a commitment to pray for those that are living their days in a wilderness. Now, a wilderness for us might not be a wild, uncultivated wasteland. Wilderness for us might be a place where there's not a lot of social interaction. There's not a lot of friendships. It may be a financial wilderness. It may be a physical wilderness that we are physically not able to leave the wilderness. But what I want to challenge those who are living in a wilderness, maybe this is you today, and if you know someone, maybe God would lead you to befriend them if you haven't, and if you have, maybe share today's lesson with them. That from a fleshly perspective, the wilderness just stinks. There's nothing, our flesh screams out, get me out of here. The challenge is to rise above the flesh and get to the level of the deepness of the spiritual. And what we will see in this residency of the people is a way in the wilderness. And that is God. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know that sounds Sunday school, but that's the truth. You are going to see that they saw God. You are going to see God in the wilderness. He is our way in the wilderness, whether it's seasonal, whether it's semi-permanent, whether it is permanent. He is our way in our wasteland. You can, in the wilderness, evaluate your relationship with God. And this is what they do. Now, they go up and down with it, which who wouldn't? Living in a wasteland, let's just be for real. You can enrich your relationship with God through prayer, through the study of His Word, through worship, through your church relationships, a small group relationship, Bible study. You can experience the power of God, I believe, in the wilderness even greater than you can on the other side of that experience, because you're so desperate for it. You'll see the power here. They've had victory. Victory in the wilderness. How about that? They have this assignment, this new residence that they're going to live, this place of living, but yet God gave them victory. He also provided for them. So in the wilderness, when we look at it from the spiritual perspective, which I'm not saying is easy, I'm not saying it's easy. When we see that, we can encounter God's provision, and we'll know it's from Him. We will know that it's from no other source but from Him, because there isn't anyone else around. Because in a wasteland, in a wilderness, when you live there, it can be very lonely. I have a really good friend of mine who I know feels this way. very often, if not on a daily basis. But I'll tell you, I don't know anybody, I'm serious, I don't know anybody that hears from God and can connect to God, hears from God more frequently and connects to God more readily and experiences God than this particular woman. She amazes me. She really does. Because she doesn't know when her place is going to end. It's an uncertain place right now. So I want us to turn the video off, and I want everyone to commit to pray for those that we know and those that we don't, that are living in the wilderness, that they would evaluate their relationship with God, that they would enrich it, they would experience the power of God, and they would encounter the provision of God like never before. We will see you next time on Read Through the Word.